Hello, my name is Emily, and I have an Etsy store called Yesterday's Stash. I am here today to show you my latest junk journal. And this is a part of my Hopeful 2021 series, and this is the 5th book that I've made since the first of the year that is for hope for a better 2021 than we had in 2020. So I have lots of hopeful statements, at least 40 hopeful statements either attached to the book or as in pockets of books. This particular one is going to be called Correspondence because I use Tim Holtz's Correspondence paperpack. And, it had a lot of brick color and dark blue, maybe some even orange. But this paper here, a sort of a sage green or green. And it was really an interesting paper pack, and it kind of gave me an opportunity to expand and do lots of different things with mailing, postcards, stationery. This is a letter that was written. That's one of the pages. Travel, even typewriter as a means of communication or corresponding. But that's what this book is focused on. And then I have a really good thrift store that I go to that's in my town. And I am forever, when I go there, I'm always finding, different things to use. And so I found this fabric that is a nice check plaid that had the same colors in it. I did a this rose kind of a fabric to sort of for holding on the spine. The book is 8 by 8, and it's probably got a 2.5 inch spine. It has 3 signatures. It's 46 pages times 2 makes 92. And I used since I was using Tim Holtz, this is something that I found that I'm using. It's a Tim Holtz faucet knob. And you use them, you screw them in the same way that his others do. You turn it and it goes in. And then what I did was I used an eyelet here to put some grosgrain ribbon that's of the same color. But this here is upholstery fabric that I found that that this is the way it came. A big round piece of upholstery fabric for like $1. So when and this just looked like it would just be a really good item to put on the side or around the edge. And it happened to go with this fabric. And then what I did to decorate is I used a piece of it here. This is a heart that I have a flower with several different pieces of lace around it. So again, this is 46 pages, and one of the things that I really love to put in my junk journals is texture. I like to have a lot of texture. I like to have a lot of surfaces that are sort of different. This, for the book, for the inside covers of both, I used one of the pages from the book. And then throughout, I have put pockets. I've put hanging items or hanging charms and other sort of thing. And I have also put little decorations in between where the signatures are and so forth. I've also, typically use a lot of different things. Like this is a napkin that I cut up and sewed lace around. This is one of the sayings. This is an earring, or actually I use these for wine identifiers, wine glass identifiers, these round hoops. And you know what we do, you put your different, you make your own little wine glass, and this is an earring hoop, so it comes open. You put it around the bottom of your wine glass, and then I have some charms in here. So this is how I like to put my books together. These are some of the hanging items. This comes from some of the tags that are in that book. This is a actual tag from Tim Holtz's Wallflower collection, and then stamps. My dad had a huge collection of stamps, and so I have made use of those stamps. This is paper fabric that you use when you are getting ready to select upholstery for a couch. They sell upholstery books at my thrift store. This is actually some fabric that my great aunts used when they took a lot of their brothers' neckties and that were old and cut them up and made them into these squares of for maybe for a quilt, but they were all in 12-inch squares, and they all look like this, but they had put some really interesting needlework, embroidery around it. I don't know if you can see them from here. The only problem with this is that over the years, because these squares are so old and were never made into a quilt, some of the fabric has gotten a little thin. So I'm not able to use the whole 12-inch square cut around it, and I actually made this heart from that. So this is a hanging charm of a clock. This is a letter that was written that's in that Tim Holtz packet. And then this is some fabric that I use to kind of trim around the edge of this to make tags for 2 more positivity or hopeful statements. I like to cut up old books or magazines that I see, and I happened to, several years ago, found this particular book at a book fair, and it's called Inspirational Quotes Illustrated. And actually, so what it is it's quotes, and someone did some artwork to go with it, and but the pages are perforated, and you can, with the intention that you take the pages out of the book and use them, for framing or for doing other type of artwork with it. So Inspirational Quotes Illustrated by Leslie Riley. And that was an interesting something that I found, and so I have cut that book up somewhat and have used some of the pictures out of that. Interesting that my my pages that I use for journaling on are actually cats. And what I found was this really neat cat notebook at the bookstore. And I mean, not at the bookstore, but at the thrift store. And the paper is just so neat looking that I had to use it for, in some of my books. And they all have different cats or animals cats in them of various shapes and forms. And there is also a quote about cats interspersed throughout. So it's really interesting how these pages and how you can look at and have pictures of cats. But anyway, those are what my journaling pages are here. And I believe there are about 20. So maybe front and back 40. But I don't know that you would want to work right necessarily on front and back. Just depending on if you used a ballpoint pen, that would be fine. But that's the pages that you can use for journaling in this book. I also am a heart person. I make a lot of things. I just cut hearts up. This is actual scrapbook paper, and then I put quotes on the other side of it. This is another one of those tags that I made with flags using different trims that I picked up at the thrift store, and so it's turned into a tag. And this is a pocket. This is the back side of the book page that I cut up. And here's this is using that sort of yarn to make the same sort of pocket. But throughout I have quotes glued onto the pages, and then other quotes you can take out and look at, and use. But this is actually a little pocket that has some tickets in it that came in this. This is wrapping ribbon for wrapping. It uses the wired ribbon, and so I like that trim on the edges of them. So I turned that into a pocket. I have the pages sewn into the fabric, the plaid fabric, and just some different odd sort of pages. This is a greeting card that talks about ordinary people can do extraordinary things. This is actually a piece of Braille paper that has that texture on it, and it has a positive quote on it. So here we go with more of the cat pages. Interesting blue paper. And then more pictures out of magazines or books that I see that I find that I think are like just beautiful pieces of art. And then I have added a quote to that page. Another one of those. I actually found some airmail envelopes, and so I have been able to use them and cut them up and use them in various ways, in the book. I actually coffee stained it, but I like the airmail sign and signature that you can use. For this particular page, I used another type of scrapbook. I thought I was going to use more, but I ended up not using more. But this particular paper pack that this came from is called Forever Free. And it's a 48 sheet pad of different designs. It's one-sided, but it's called Forever Free, and I just liked some of the designs in it. Some of them are both sides, and I just really liked some of the designs, and I thought I would be able to use more of the pages than I actually did in this book, because I ended up using so many pages from Tim Holtz's kit. But this particular one has a pocket. Again, another pocket. This is an Oprah Winfrey quote, "Doing the best at this moment puts you in the best place for the next moment." And then this is a Tina Turner. This is "When you raise this up and look in it." That's a Helen Keller quote. "Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it." So just lots of different positive statements or positivity quote. This is a belly band that I have a quote by Martin Luther King, and made another one of those little tags. This actually came from a coloring book page, and it says, I found this at a book fair as well, quotes to color. And it's just all kinds of neat quotes, and you can actually, so I took the one out that says, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tunes without the words and never stops at all." So it's really interesting. And then we went to Key West, Florida. There is a little bit of a cat theme going on here, as well as the correspondence, as well as the positive quotes. But Ernest Hemingway's house was open when we went to Key West. There's a picture of his house. And so I picked up a couple of postcards, but he was a cat lover, and he had all kinds of cats. And there was cats there when we went. Even today, the people that are running his home are taking care of those cats. So more quotes, more different ways of putting different pages together. This is actually a piece of fabric, two coordinated green that I used with a leaf and some gems in there. This is a pocket with trees, more quotes. This is the back side of that greeting card, and it also has a verse in it. This is the third and final signature, and I have put a couple of quotes in here. And another one of that beautiful artwork. Another quote. There's just quotes all throughout here. Out of difficulty grow miracles. And I can't pronounce who wrote that. But here's an actual envelope that has a Dr. Seuss quote, and then pictures out of magazines that I cut and made into a tag for a pocket. Put in a pocket. You can take all the tags out and the book would be a lot thinner. This is where I played with and made envelopes. Put two envelopes together, and then as a part of my father's collection of stamps that I got in a big shoebox are some different international stamps in these little pocket envelopes, and I stuck them in here. And then this page here has more quotes, has more of using the envelopes, has a hanging charm, another quote by Irma Brombeck. This actually has two more charms here, and then two more quotes, and some of that pretty blue paper that I thought looked so good in that paper pack. This is more of a bookmark that has the stamps sewn. There's a lot of machine sewing in here. I actually even took these and put a piece of plastic around it and sewed a border around to protect them, to keep them longer, or keep them in good shape longer. And then this is the last page, and this is actually a snippet roll that I ordered from a girl who was selling things on Instagram. And just because of the colors of the reds and the blues and the greens, I thought that it would be very suitable for this book. In addition to this book, I have also, I wanted to include, and I couldn't do it, I wanted to include some stationery, including cards. I have some Mary Engelbright cards, I have some postcards, and I have recipe cards from the kitchen of. And so I wanted to include, I will include a few of each of those in the book, and then I would like to include some of these, what we call thoughtful cards. These thoughtful cards are around a theme, and one of the themes is hope, and that's this one here. There's also a theme called You Matter, a theme called Dream, and a theme called Wish. And they come like this in these little boxes, and they put 30 of them in here, and they're like $6.95 or $7.95 for them, and it's called Thoughtfuls. And I will put the information about it in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed putting together these books, and I look forward to making more using whatever scraps I can find at my thrift store. 90% of this book comes from things that are not, that are being reused. So that's kind of what I like to do, and I'm very fortunate to have that thrift store close by that has all kinds of different things. So we'll talk again soon. Thanks for watching.